elementary team, all gang members now. I don't want to do that.
St. Benedict's mission is to take young men from diverse backgrounds and provide access to opportunity historically denied to us.
People ask me all the time about St. Benedict's, and I say, you know what? We're an advanced placement course in basketball.
For me, it's bigger than just basketball. I want to change, like, the way my family lives.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How you doing, Coach?
I like that picture in the background.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Shaky boy.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Can't
What's up,
complain.
Jake?
How are you doing?
Doing good. Greetings from Las Vegas, gentlemen. How are you this morning?
Greetings. Pretty good.
Not bad.
Excellent. Thank you so much for talking to me today about Benedict Men.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, let's start with you. You know, St. Benedict's basketball team, was that a calling for you?
Yeah, you know, it was when I was coaching at another Catholic school, and then I was coaching at a public school, and the job came up. I knew it was the spot I wanted to be. So I went for the job and didn't get it the first time around. And then they called me the next year and said, you're the guy, come on, let's do it. And it's been great ever since.
And Jake, you know, you're from a different background than the rest of the team. Was that sometimes a hindrance for you, or did the team accept you for who you are?
No. Going in, I mean, I didn't even, like, my background had nothing to do with my relationship with the kids on the team. Those guys are my brothers, and they didn't treat me any different. I didn't treat them any different. It didn't really play a factor. The only factor it played was in my own personal experience. I was able to garner something that a lot of people from where I'm from aren't able to garner. And that's the only reason why I even mentioned it in the interviews, just because it was such an experience. It was like almost a gift to me, but my relationship with the guys was the same as anybody else.
And Coach, you had a line where you said you were selling them a fantasy and many will not go on to the NBA. And that's true with, you know, baseball, football, any sport. How do you lower the boom on your players, or soften the blow, I should say?
I don't. I know that sounds strange. You know, my goal as a coach is to inspire and to try to help them achieve dreams. At the same time, is to mentor them and prepare them for anything they're going to face in life, whether it is to accomplish making it to the NBA, which we've had a number of guys do, or play in Europe, or if they don't, be in a position where they're well-rounded enough and they have the foundation to be successful in doing something else. So, you know, you never try to crush a dream. You try to encourage that dream, but at the same time, you have to prepare them and mentally be ready to attack other things in life besides basketball.
And Jake, I love your sense of team, because there was that great scene in the locker room where you're talking to Zariq, and you were a cheerleader, and I'm sure the whole team is, but you know, you really stood out.
Yeah, I mean, everywhere that I have been and I am at Lehigh, it's always a team first mentality. I mean, Coach Taylor's always preached that. It's a little bit of a different setting at Benedict's, because you got guys that want Division I scholarships. You got guys that are trying to play their best, prove themselves. And you got, as a coach, as he does, you know, you gotta harness that and also kind of encourage it. You want to encourage guys to go after their own personal goals, like he said in the documentary. But at the same time, if you do a good job of harnessing that, you can kind of bring it together. And I was just trying to be, you know, kind of like a secondary coach my senior year. He named me a captain. He trusted me. So it was kind of my job, alongside CJ and Madani, to kind of, like I said, harness that energy and throw it in the right direction. So anything that I could do to help in that way, tried to do it.
And Coach, you know, sometimes it's hard to forget while you watch this documentary that you're dealing with teenagers. Like when Zariq came 45 minutes late, and you just think to yourself, how is that acceptable? How could he possibly think coming that late is acceptable?
Well, listen, Zariq's a great kid.
Oh no, I'm not bashing him, but I'm just saying.
No, I know that. I know. I'm just saying, and they're all tremendous people in their own you know, personal way. It's as Jake just said, it's such a hard balance. You don't know the emotional noise that's going on outside of basketball, and sometimes, you know, I say to the other coaches, you have to be deaf, dumb, and blind. because if you notice every little thing and you hear every little chirp, you're going to be constantly in a negative position. Zarik needed so much more. You know, coaching basketball is a calling for me. You know, I tell people, if you could do something you love, something that comes really easy, and something you would do without being paid for, and it comes real easy, you're going to have a wonderful life. Okay. So I'm blessed to be able to coach. The easy part is coaching. The hard part is dealing with all the emotional noise that goes on off the court. You don't know what's going on in his home life. You don't know, you know, if he had a ride that day, he might have walked. There's so much more going on. And it's sometimes really hard for the other players to understand that, because they know some of it. They don't know all the story or some of the reasons why someone comes late. Zarik got caught up at times on the outside, and it was a constant struggle. And I think you could see it come across between where he's from, his former guys, his groupies, whatever you want to call them, that he hung out with, and then trying to fit into the Benedict's way, which is so different than and the foundation and mentality of it is so different than what he was brought up in, that, you know, you have to kind of work your way into it.
No, I have great admiration for him, but by all means. And Jake, there was a line in there, me ball, not team ball. Everybody was trying to, you know, look out for themselves, but try to keep it as a team. There's a lot of experience in that with the other players, or?
I think, like I said before, you know, it's just anywhere you're playing at the highest level of high school basketball, and the ultimate goal, like Coach Taylor said was in the documentary, is we all want to play college basketball, Division I college basketball. So at the end of the day, like, I mean, guys are gonna be selfish at times, just or unjust. But I mean, you know, you just you do your best as a coaching staff. You do your best as a senior captain. You do your best as a guy who doesn't play that much to contribute to the team, and you win games. And if you win games, good things happen. Coach Taylor said that in the documentary. You quoted verbatim. So if you win games, good things happen. You win games, everybody's happy. The attention goes to the team, not to the individual, and guys are going to get what they want. Did we have some selfish play? Yes. Was I a factor in that selfish play at times? Probably, you know, just naturally being on a team, right? So it happens, but I think we were able to kind of get over that to some extent, just like, you know, every team struggles with some stuff like that. So I wouldn't single anybody out ever. I wouldn't say, oh, St. Benedict's is a selfish basketball program. Like, no, that couldn't be any more false. It's just guys trying to get to the next level. And when you have 8 to 9 Division I basketball players on the floor at once, there's a lot of talent. So it can look like that at times, but no, there was nobody that was constantly selfish. We were all trying to win basketball games.
And Coach, you know, you have to balance basketball, education, and also working with Father Leahy. And what's your special relationship with him? How does that work? Hands off, or is he hands on?
Well, listen, there's no such thing as hands off with Father Leahy. He is a very unique individual and a tremendous human being. And if you've talked to him or seen him in action, what he's done for the past 47 years at that school is legendary. So I have the utmost respect for Father Ed. You know, Father Ed is very interesting when it comes to basketball, because he actually believes that basketball is a negativity for the African-American community, and the fact that it drives them so much into that, and there's so much handlers and everything else that go on, and the majority that doesn't make it winds up being left behind and lost and forgotten. And so for him, basketball at times is a negative, but at the same token, he allows us to do what we do and to play at this level and to be competitive at the highest level out there. And he's extremely supportive at the same time, trying to be realistic with the team, the individuals, and set goals beyond basketball. He's so instrumental in some of our guys going on and doing other things outside of basketball that they wind up doing that they didn't even realize they were capable of.
And finally today, let's talk about the documentary. Lots of red tape, getting people on board, families, players, ignoring the cameras. I mean, that's a whole list of things in this undertaking of this QUIBI documentary. So how did you guys react to the cameras? Were they there sometimes you noticed, or I mean, to talk about a complicated endeavor.
I'm sure Jake's opinion is different than mine, but I'm sure there's some things that coincide extremely well. Jake, I'll let you go first on that one.
Cameras. I mean, obviously, it's for someone who, and myself, who kind of just like values kind of just getting down to the hard work and just kind of grinding stuff out and not necessarily needing the most amount of attention. I guess sometimes it could be a little tiny bit distracting, but when you realize throughout the year what the, people are, you kind of just ignore it. I mean, it didn't really play a huge factor. I think people were just kind of focused on our season for the most part. And were, genuine with their actions, regardless of the cameras and the microphones. Yeah, I don't think it played as a major obstruction to our season at all, if any. I know that's my answer. I think it was just kind of there in the background, and people realized that QUIBI wanted to do something, Whistle Sports wanted to do something with our team and our school. And I think if you were able to realize that the end product would be what it is now, giving people insight into St. Benedict's and St. Benedict's basketball, as I did, then you were kind of just tolerant of it and kind of just went about your day, went about your practice, went about your games, kind of as if it wasn't there.
Oh, wow. That's a great answer.
Yeah. I on the other hand, had a little different take, and Jake, that's okay, and I'm glad Jake said that, because I thought it was going to be a major distraction. And for some of the players, I think it was, some it wasn't. But I was mic'd up, for 9 months in practice, in games. So for me, it started, I was very guarded at first, because you really don't know what the storyline is going to be or where it's going. I mean, it originally started as just following a team with high-level recruits that are going to college and what they go through. And I think it grew into so much more when they got into the school and saw the entire picture of what St. Benedict's is all about, which is so different. And it's a unique place that the whole approach to the story changed, and it became Benedict Men. And that was great. But when they're filming and when they're micing you, you don't know where they're going. And, every time you say something, you're like, oh my God, did I say something I shouldn't say? Or did I do something I shouldn't do? So I think for the first month or so, I was pretty guarded about it. And then after a while, I forgot it was even there. Kind of like what Jake said, I just went about my business. And I think you could see some of that in the later episodes. I was a lot more aggressive on film than I was early on. So I just became who I was and said, it is what it is.
But you think that's going to be a drawback? Is that, St. Benedict's was this great, best kept little secret. Now with this documentary and all this attention, all the eyes upon you, are you ready for more attention, or is that a bad thing?
No, I think it's awesome. I think the publicity for the school, the reputation, what we symbolize and represent, especially in the world today, what's going on in our country, the changes that are taking place. I mean, this film was supposed to come out last year during the NCAA tournament, and it got pushed off because of coronavirus, and which everybody was so upset about. But God above has another purpose, because this came out during the epidemic, during a time when the country is going through some social issues, and a lot of the issues that go on in our school match what was going on. And I think the timing couldn't have been any better. So the delay actually, I think, was a positive. And I think it gives people an opportunity to see that, we're trying to give a voice to everybody. We're trying to do things differently in a society that isn't there yet. So, and it does work. I mean, we've had over 90% of the kids who graduate from our school graduate college. That's an unheard of number for an inner city school, so we're proud of what we do.
This documentary is like capturing lightning in a bottle. It's fantastic.
It really is.
Inspirational. Congratulations, Coach, on a wonderful documentary. And also, Jake, best of luck to you too. And I appreciate both of you talking to me this morning.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Jake, you the man. I'll talk to you soon.
Coach, I'll talk to you soon,
brother.
Coach.
Yeah, got you.
Hey guys.
Thank you, Jeffrey.